So I feel we are speaking a little bit about human arrogance right now. So like, let's not do that. Let's not come from that place. And maybe that's important. And we shall be open also, I feel, spiritually, because counterpart energy, there are, of course, different beliefs. And and as I said earlier, every religion has some truth in it, some gems, and, you know, some entities attached, I want to say, some misuse, right? We know that. Also the love and light only movement. And, you know, you've been through all that darkness. And so you understand that when you are that dark, and even physically, you know, health-wise, I guess, totally lacking, right? Lacking energy. Then of course it's about survival. Then of course you have to put yourself first. And when we see that in other people, we would name that egotistical. But there is a need, of course, for the ego to protect us. And that's even why we do have things like pain, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't be careful with our physical body and keep it safe. Just saying, because he has an injury. And I want to kind of keep him, like heal that. Okay, let's heal the wounds a little bit. And yeah, you know, and if there are wounds, you know, wounds need that care, they need that extra care, and they need to be licked maybe, and they need to be, you know, we need to stay a little bit in misery maybe, and in these dark feelings, in these dark emotions, to really get them out. And we spoke about why this is so important, because we literally release them from lifetimes. And physical pain is a good way to release, actually. So health problems always have a higher purpose. I wasn't meant to, and I wasn't thinking of saying that, but yeah, so health problems always have a higher purpose. Good. Good, we know that now. Yeah, and it's of course from, you know, it's already materialized, so it's from other lifetimes. It's what we incarnate with to be constantly able to work on that 333 right now. So yeah, we literally pick that up. I mean, we pick that out for ourselves. Now I feel we need this for some reason. He wants to say something. This is an authentic truth deck. And I mean, that's double confirmation now. I am used to be in control of situations and my emotions. Okay. Kind of nearly the same as that, right? So I'm used to be in control of situations and my emotions. Okay, okay, okay. So with the devil and that here, that of course says with this also, right? That says, and now the feather just moved and brought my attention to the Archangel of Justice here, Raguel, and that we are now on the scale of the Divine Masculine here. Yes, so this is about the Divine Masculine, of course. And so there is an attachment to the physical world, which makes sense because I spoke about how they are more deeply rooted in the lower chakras, right? Which is the denser energy, which, I mean, no one ever has said anything against crystals, which is very dense energy, right? Materialized gold, very dense energy. A mansion, very dense energy. So it's nothing to look down on, right? It's hard work in it often from centuries, families, or whatever. And crystals and metal in the earth, that's, you know, the gems that's built up. Same with pearls. And a lot of these things, just like pearls, they come through irritations. So why are we needing to build a big fortress for ourselves? Why do we need to collect all these materials around us? Why do we want to have status? See, I mentioned status earlier. Now we know why. Yeah, wasn't expecting that. But so we are looking at the shadow side, actually, of the King of Pentacles, right? So this guy who needs to have the biggest car and the nicest credit card, and or otherwise the other way around, and, you know, the posh or whatever, and the address, the postal code. That's important. And why? Because the postal code creates safety. Because why? Because then we have a safe environment, and then we have other frequencies around us. So there is really a thing with that. I understand that. And a lot of immigrants, for example, they push their kids like crazy so that they please have it better later, right? And that they can live in a better environment. And they put their kids through a lot of hardship to get them there, right? Because for them, it was, the parents, I mean, it was crazy being unsafe on the road, maybe with little kids, you know, babies, and then immigrating, and crazy situations, right? And you feel so unsafe. And so this is, of course, a matter helps with safety a lot. And we do have another card. It says just thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, I don't know why. But yeah, maybe because we are on the way to understand them. And they are really, really already grateful that we take the time and listen. So now, I guess we want to go a little bit deeper over here and unfold some things. Where do we want to put these? Let me arrange. Okay, I'm called to first ask about their environment. What had maybe caused that behavior? Yeah, I mean, they came out in reverse. And so this is the bear in the Lenormand. And this speaks about being fully yourself. Like, be in your own authentic power, which is empowering. The bear has no enemies, and he just, you know, is able to stand on it's his own. And that weren't the case. And so that's why they weren't able to speak their emotions. And it's interesting now, I feel I really would like to go in here because, yeah, we need that. There is a lot about speaking. So what do we have? We start with number 12. Oh, I also have this. See how interesting? The artwork, which had picked itself for the divine masculine side. How this resonates with the colors, that's really nice. So, and this is also kind of, I don't really know. I mean, I totally channel intuitively with these, with everything, you know. But this is a mountain, and this is like, it has to do with magician energy, but also with finding the inner true colors and the inner strength. And yeah, maybe we get later more about that, but I want to really start with this. So this is clear and blue, number 12. And it says, where are you? Peace in the new time lends purposefulness. And this remedy is given to children who have problems with their speech. And it totally belongs here, right? Because this is childhood, I'm feeling. This is from very early on. They weren't allowed, I'm hearing, to show their emotions, to speak their mind. And now they need to catch up with that, right? They need to learn that. They need to reparent themselves, and they need to learn to speak. And if you never ever have expressed your emotions, it's really difficult. Totally. I get that. Number 30, blue-red. That's a major remedy, actually. And it says, bring heaven into being on earth. And that's divine masculine purpose, right? With the red here also, it's totally magician energy, and it's totally about bring it into the lower chakras, but bring heaven in there. And to bring heaven in there, you need to bring in your authentic core frequency, and you need to speak your truth, like your heart. Otherwise, not possible. So this brings together the spirit and the material. It calms and earths the soul. Very good for returning from deep meditation. So this is an energy which I feel very strongly with divine masculines always, that totally stabilizes the divine feminine essence. And that's, of course, their purpose, right? Totally. They shall do that. And they do that. Anyway. Even with not doing anything and forcing us to go back to our own, right? Totally back into self and back into healing the physical, healing the own physical realm, healing the own lower chakras, right? And deciding what we want in there and what not. So this is turquoise and clear. It's called titania. And it makes the connection with the inner teacher. Learning to speak about one's own feelings and fears. Yes, that's what we are doing over here, right? See? This is so clear with all this wanting to stay in control and not showing anything. And I want to have 2 more cards here about biggest influence maybe in their life, something like that, or what caused that. Aha, thank you. Ooh, woman. Okay, I mean, this is clearly positive because it fall here, and I asked for the biggest influence in their life, and that's in this deck, That's the woman, and that's kind of this woman. That's, you know, in the Lenormand deck, we do have a man and a woman, and they are meant to be a couple. And ooh, this wanted to come through too, and this is the key. Okay, so you hold the key to their emotional body, and you, of course, resonate with their core, and so you kind of become their mountain. They need to, yes. So on the one hand, of course, you hold the key to unlock their heart, right? To unlock their speech also, which is necessary. They need to unlock that themselves. It's not our place to explain and speak for them. They need to do that. And the divine feminine's strongest power is silence and holding the space until the divine masculine learns to speak, finds their words, and finds their right words, right? Just see again with the forgiveness, just see again if someone is stunted like that emotionally and within their authentic self-expression, and they never did that, then you really have someone there on the other side, you know, I mean, of the relationship, of the connection, that really is emotionally as experienced or grown as a little child. It really is like that. So there is an emotional strong disconnect happened in early childhood, I would say, and this caused, of course, that the emotional body couldn't develop. And now, of course, we can say, sit there and say, yeah, like this guy, you know, isn't emotionally in a place of someone I would even consider, right? But then again, the connection is so strong that you are still here, right? Still listening. And you haven't kind of, I mean, you have in a way, of course, retreated in your corner, but still there is hope, and there really is hope, because heaven works on that. I mean, that's all angels here over the place. And I mean, since this reading is coming through, I feel like there are legions surrounding me. It's really crazy, the angelic presence here. It's crazy. It's super strong. And I mean, wouldn't it be great if they make it, right? Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be a super good movie? Like one we would want to watch. So one the world would want to see, right? And yeah, so lean back and watch, I want to say. Lean back and watch. But yeah. Wow. Split the deck. This is the man. I mean, this is two decks mixed together, by the way. But yeah. So in this deck, it's with ancient artwork. I mean, not ancient, but it's in this iconic style, you know, in this spiritual style painted. And this is more a traditional one here. So they even experience, you know, they think and see, they don't dare. See how small this guy is and how big she is, and she is painted there in this iconic way, like Black Madonna even, you know, like Mary Magdalene, and, you know, divine feminine, right? What shall I say? Divine feminine energy. It's intimidating, I want to say. And they don't know that they are that big bear. They don't know yet, because that's still in the underworld. That needs to be yet awakened. So let us see, how can we do that? I mean, how will they do that? Oh, that's interesting. We do have the sun again on top, though I have shuffled a few times. And remember, the sun was there at the very beginning, laying here. I like that. I feel we want to have it here. So, ooh, I hadn't expected that deck. So this is interesting. This is with movie scenes. And so they have to lay something to rest. Ooh, but it is... Okay, so these three they are saying, because this is just too much. Okay, strength. We saw strength before. This is you again, right? And wow. So that's like Beauty and the Beast, of course. So this is how they feel with this situation, like Beauty and the Beast. But see, it's infinite. And this is the Wheel of... Yeah, of course. This is the Wheel of Fortune. They feel that it's fated. But they look, I feel that's kind of them looking down on the connection, and they are thinking, well, I messed it up, right? I kind of, I unalived it. I messed it up, totally. I feel that's what they are saying. Like even maybe speaking with their friends and like, well, bro, see, I no way, no way, I totally... But then they feel it. They also feel the angelic presence, right? They also feel that. It's fated. And the title, what I was hearing for this reading, was not like they are coming or you are doing something. No, it was like this connection is being prepared for a phoenix rising moment. Where's our phoenix, by the way? Huh. Here you are. We need you. Okay. Emotions, key, sun. See, this is kind of where it needs to come from. They, of course, of course, we know that, right? They need to... Yes, see, they need, this is, wow. With this card here, this Ace of Cups. Yeah, so they need to dig that out of their heart and get that clear and straight in their mind, right? And this fuels them and, fuels them, yes. And then it goes over there to the sun. And this sun card here, which is also from the Lenormand, right? It has, as a playing card, it has an Ace of Pentacles. And here we do have an Ace of Cups. So very powerful. And this card wants to be shown also. So they have to go for the Two of Cups. It's their journey now, right? They have to go and get their Two of Cups. And they have to leave all these 8 cups behind. And that's literally their environment, what I was mentioning. So what's going on there in this environment? Can we have something else? Oh, I'm drawn to another deck. It's the Thoth Tarot. What did I say? The Crowley Tarot. But yeah, so he worked with Thoth. And it's said to be a little bit tainted, maybe, with some dark attachment, but it's a very good deck for shadow energies. Oops, there we go. Shadows. So what do we have for shadows? We do have a Page of Swords. I show you. The artwork is just amazing. Page of Swords. And we do see 3 people hanging there. And he is a little bit a puppet player, right? Speaking about environment, what do we need to let go of? Then we do have... Oh, that's a knight, by the way. I'm sorry. So the prince is the knight here in the deck, and this is the princess, and she is the page, right? The princess of pentacles. Okay. So I would say this explains a lot, like about dating style I'm just hearing, right? If we are playing, right, with energies, and if we are aiming for a princess of pentacles, so what does that mean? That means we are looking for just physical, right? We never thought about angels in human flesh. No, we only thought before about human flesh, like the flesh, like the most beautiful flesh, right? Which is like a trophy. And a princess of pentacles, that's like a gift. That sounds so ugly, but that's, I'm channeling that, right? That's like a gift you would kind of get for your kingdom, you know, from the other kingdom. Like, you know how that works. I mean, SEX was very territorial earlier, and it is still, but we just suppress it a lot more. But yeah, so that's literally who gets the trophy, you know, that raises your status again, status, right? Status. And what is she wearing, if anything? Yes, of course, she's wearing a lot, but I do want you to look at the artwork too. It looks a little bit on the darker side, right? Could also be just deep meditation, deep earth magic, and that's cool. So a little bit of vicar energy I'm feeling. So this type of feminine energy, right? More on the dark high priestess energy, you know, more, literally more dark witch energy I'm feeling with that. And then we have, oh, okay. Okay, interesting. So we also have the Queen of Swords, which we asked for environment, right? And so that's the mother figure, a Queen of Swords, who has raised a Knight of Swords. Oh, there he is, the Knight of Swords. So it's the doing of the mother, actually, who said that you are not allowed and you should go after and you should bring home pentacles and trophies and be the best guy, right? And so maybe there is, because she has a connection here, so maybe there is a little bit of darkness coming from mother's side in this setting, right? In this family. And your divine masculine, chose that. He chose that on a soul level, that very ancestral line, to make a change. Wow. So he literally incarnated in a more darker environment to be able, because he has the strength, and you know that if you can feel him, the positive version of that one, in your auric field or mentally or however you connect, you know, in your heart space, then you know that of course his higher self is pure light. And all the darkness would, he is working with, you know, as the puppet player with the closed heart space and all that. Wow, this is a very clear reading. I love that. And I'm so grateful that we got that card, because that makes all the sense in the world, right? Oh, I really feel like watching a movie, you know, in the last stages, and the antagonist, he gets so entangled, and then you're watching like, please, please, can you make it? Oh, I'm called to take one of these light messages, because from his higher self, maybe, right? Okay, so they are for you and they are for him. Wow, he has 3 and we have these, and we shall start, of course. Release, yes, release. We spoke about that so much. Okay, so what can we release and how? I stop fighting my fears and the hardships of life. I control my thoughts, live in the present moment, and accept each stage of life. I work on what I have. I work on what I have power over and put into God's hands what I can't change. I trust that everything will work out for the best. Yes. So I will read that again in a minute, but let's dissect it a little bit. Yes, I stop fighting my fears and the hardships of life. Of course, we had that. And you're done, you're finished, your name is cleared, everything is good, karma is released. So now it is, the shift is totally happening right now, the shift into greenery. And the next is very important. I live in the present moment. I spoke about that. The past is a place to learn from, but not a place to stay in, right? Not a place to live in for always. Just see it as little segments to experience. You know, just as you would have a project in school, and now project is closed and next book can be opened. And yes, you can work on the next project with the same collective, with the same people maybe, right? With the same one person maybe even. That's possible. And I accept each stage of life, and I want to say I accept each stage of the process, because it is a process to turn the wheel around. See how I was like, I feel like we need to turn it like that, but that's kind of in the dark then. And see, yes, wow, they have stayed maybe decades there, right? Depending on their age, within their family bloodlines darkness, right? Working like they were told to work. And you triggered this awakening, this judgment, this believing in angels again, right? I mean, for real, they feel you. And see how this is totally the same, and also this, and it's all with cloudy energy, or what is it? It looks like. I mean, this is an Ouroboros, I guess. But yeah, beautiful. So, and we work on what we have power over, and that's bettering our own life, right? That's working on our home, on our business, on our hobbies, on our other soulmates, 717 right now. And we keep that up also when they come in, because it's so important, to make that clear again, for a healthy relationship. No matter how heavenly magically it is, we don't want to be only enmeshed and become soaked in. We do want to stay full and whole and expand ourselves and not bow down to jealousy demons, right? Jealousy demons must be cast out. We just push them away. So we work on ourselves, and everything else we put in God's hand, because it's there anyway. And I trust that everything will work out for the best. Yes, this is very much this beautiful divine feminine energy we need. And this is also beautiful vitality. We need that right here. Wow. I am a being of light. I accept the divine energy in my body, and every one of my cells regenerates. I mean, you can't make that up. That's crazy. Every one of my cells regenerates. And remember how I said that the divine feminine essence, yes, it's source energy, but the divine masculine essence, like the Ace of Wands, that's invigorating, and it's the divine flame, right? The sacred flame. And you feel that in your body, and their energy streaming into your body helps cleanse and revitalize and also rejuvenate, and for sure aging reverse you for sure, and just healing, because that's what's happening when divine feminine and masculine, when those flames are aligned. It's not only about instant manifestation in the outer realm, but it is of course about instant manifestation within. It is about instinctive healing, but instant healing I wanted to say, but yeah, instinctive healing. And yeah, let's let it be like that, if they chose that word. So now we are for the divine masculine here, self-love on top, of course, self-love. They only can, and you know, playing around with other people, we know that's not good, but it is kind of a toxic way of self-love, right? It's like, I mean, it's very toxic, but still, they try to protect themselves, and they try to still get something out of life, I want to say. So self-love. I attend to my needs by listening to my heart. My inner essence lets me know what is good for me. Yes, and that's not all the dark stuff here. We need to bury the darkness. So my inner essence, and that's you actually, you are their inner essence, their divine feminine flame. My inner essence lets me know, and you can do that through meditation and in dreams, and you can just speak with them, right? Send them, not send them like I have to send them, but wrap yourself in healing music or whatever, and they get that downloaded anyway. Because if you feel them, they feel you too. And by the way, we also feel their unhealthy urges. For example, social media scrolling or binge eating or something like that, you know, strange appetites and sleeplessness and all these things. And if you feel like strange energies coming through, and you clearly get that is them and not you, you can, as the adult and strong person you are, you can just make a break and say, okay, no, we are not giving into that. We are not indulging in that right now, but instead we are listening to a meditation right here on YouTube very quickly, and then we go back to sleep. Or no, we are not eating this now, or drinking coffee or whatever it is, you know. And this helps training their energy, because it is all, of course, a dopamine thing, you know. And this goes with a destroyed nervous system. And if you have a mother in the archetype of the Queen of Swords, that's harsh. That's someone who protects their emotions, like also since ever maybe, and who is just not warm. Never. And so how can you even develop a healthy nervous system? You can't, because always there is this snapping coming, right? I snap like with words, I fear, right? Brushing you over or something. And so you Like, what are you doing, right? These kind of just very quick, must not say much, but still it disrupts your energy field. And if someone is just sitting there immersed in their emotions, dreaming maybe a little bit, then of course they understand I'm not supposed to, I'm not supposed to dream, I'm not supposed to be within my emotions. And people who have lost the connection to their emotions, they are stressed out like crazy from people who have a strong emotional connection, which for sure your counterpart has. And then that's why they get attacked the more. Because this person couldn't endure that. Primal caretaker must not be the mother, but primal caretaker, right? Even in kindergarten, maybe. School. Bullied in school, spoken down to by teachers. These archetypes, they follow us around often. So, self-love is so important. My inner essence lets me know what is good for me. I respect my limits. I answer the requests of my body and my soul. Thus, I learn to love myself. Yes. So, physical rest, emotional rest, respect of limits, that's not what they were raised with. Not at all. Like, not at all. They never had that. They were told the opposite. Like, you have to fight, you have to be, strongest, best, whatever. You have to go, get, always. Resting, that's for weaklings. You're my son, right? This kind of energy. So self-love, please. And this is why he's turned to his side also. He needs to be in this, immersed with this Ace of Cups energy. That's the first stage of the judgment process for this connection, is that he really needs to feel, or they, right? They need to feel their emotions. And when the heart opens, make no mistake, there will come out a lot of anger and a lot of heavy emotions. They will be super overwhelmed and they would want to get rid of those emotions immediately and maybe press them towards your side. So shield yourself. It's for a reason that we do have this angelic protection here, right? Shield yourself while the awakening is happening on their side. And it's good. It's literally good and wonderful. If a man is angry because of you, let them be. It's great. It's great, because what we want to see is that they connect with their heart space, with their emotional body. And we always say heart space when we mean emotions, but the emotions are actually a little bit lower in the body. The emotions are in the solar plexus, and also a lot comes through the sacral. And there was the suppression, Sacral chakra was suppressed like crazy. And so there will come out a lot of anger. And how did they live with their suppressed sacral chakra? With hunting girls, I want to say, but hunting whatever, however their preferences are, but hunting, right? Hunting bodies, literally. So we do need them in this place of self-love, but we do need to understand that the emotional body, when it's opening, and it's not an if, it's a when, and it's happening right now. I feel that. That's why the protection is here, because what's coming out there, it's like all at once. It's crazy, right? Crazy. And they even feel as if they are walking into darkness, see? Just darkness. And they need to walk through the darkness for a minute. Let them be there. Let them be there. It's fine. They can handle that. They are strong. Okay? And the divine feminine, though it is the divine mother archetype, but on the human plane, we are not their mother, not at all, because they want to be the divine father archetype and not our little baby boy. They are the little baby boy for their mama anyways, and they hate that. They want to be big. That's why they even do these stupid things. They want to be big because they feel they are powerful. Yes. Okay, so immerse yourself in self-love, please. Divine masculine over here. Oh, the angels want to come through. Yeah. Looks pretty similar, right? The image. That's Nathaniel. And that's Raziel. So I will speak on that a little bit in a minute. Or maybe now. No, later they say. It's fine, we do this first. So elevation is the next. Wow, elevation, that's for this one. I free myself from fear and trust the universe. I direct my thoughts to the beauty inside and around me. I use my spiritual strength and knowledge to create light. And I rise above all doubt. Yeah, they need to learn how to create light for a change and not only darkness, right? They need to learn that. They can do that. Goodness, yes. Speaking about a change. I refine my character and overcome difficulties by remaining positive. I calm my heart and illuminate my intellect to transform shadow into light. I consciously manifest goodness in and around me. I improve my qualities for the benefit of all. That's what we want. Yes, yes, yes. We want that. So that's what they are doing, what they are supposed to do, what's happening behind the scenes. Isn't that great? I love it very much. 28, 10, the sun again. So light is moving up. And, you know, you might have really thought if it's kind of you're with the Dark Lord or whatever, but no, it's just their ancestral patterns, right? They are what they chose to overcome. And to, of course, also be aware then forever how this dark energy feels and what that does with people. And so there might be a strong spiritual purpose with that lying ahead of them. You know, they can help a lot of people, of course, detaching. And yeah, very nice, very nice. I don't know what we do want to do next. Maybe I need to have a break. But let me see. Anything else here? Oh, okay. They want my deck. They want my deck. So, I'm not sure for whom that is. And what's that about? Ooh. Unconditional money. Okay. That's what they are learning also, I understand. Okay. So they are valuable, right? Even there must not be, you know, a condition on money, a purpose or whatever. And if you have, for example, pocket money as a child, you can do with that whatever you want. But a lot of parents don't understand that, and they put conditions onto money. And maybe even they don't give pocket money and they say, you can come to me and ask me. But that's different, right? Ask someone else for abundance. Have an external source, which is then kind of a sugar mommy or a sugar daddy figure, right? Growing up with that. And then you would act, of course, how they want you to act to gain more. And that's unhealthy. So we need to have free money. Even if we are adults, we need to give ourselves free pocket money. That's kind of for all that are here. Very important to understand. And where it's like, yeah, that's part of self-love, actually. You know, giving to self, even with this guy who is sleeping here with the angels right now. So let me read that. It says, unconditional money. Very soon, some unexpected money will fall into your lap. Your divine mission right now is to fulfill your heart's desires. You need the experience to heal fully. So this really is a shared card, I feel. Heal fully, right? Buried wishes, maybe. Fulfill heart's desires. And yeah. Maybe you help each other with that. I mentioned earlier at some points something about poverty vows and so on. All spiritual people have some history there with money and emotions and spirituality and how we should give everything away freely and all that, right? That's all just manipulation, of course. And there always must be an equal give and take, and that's the whole message of the reading again, right? And to receive, we need to heal our own hearts first so that they are available for receiving, right? That they must not be only open, but sometimes it's these little experiences where you really put yourself first for a minute, where you really go the extra mile for yourself to get yourself that flavor of I don't know what. And I don't know, bake your favorite cookies or whatever. And if you are totally with no sugar and super healthy, there are other options, of course. It's not only being healthy, does not mean only eating carrots. You can perfectly have a wonderful Queen of Pentacles, you know, super refined cooking with all healthy ingredients. For example, birch sugar, which is xylite, right? This is super healthy. And yeah, has even healing abilities. And yeah, so no need to intoxicate ourselves for enjoyment and put in the shopper here some, you know, unhealthy, convenient things. That's not what we are talking about, but we are talking about really fulfill your heart's desires. And I don't know, if you do want homemade vegan ice cream without sugar, which I would love to have, by the way, and it's difficult to get that. So at one point I would need to buy me an ice cream machine and make it myself, right? And that might be a heart's desire to fulfill. And I don't know, just making things up. But yeah, sometimes it's these simple things. Another card came through. This is very important. Sometimes it's the simple things that create shifts, I want to say. So if you are more on the, I'm journaling, meditating, making yoga, following my schedule, doing my spiritual work, blah, 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 reading scriptures, blah, 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 listening to videos to even become better, then you are not in a receiving mindset. No way for anything to pour into you then. So then you have to make literally room for a little bit of enjoyment and relaxing and being silly maybe even, or whatever, right? And this card is super important. I'm happy we have it. It says staring skyline, sorry. As above, so below. Wish upon a star and ground your life into the natural seasons that are broadcasted on Earth as celestial orchestration. So this reminds us that everything is already orchestrated. Like the whole timing, oh, that was a big thing. The whole timing of the connection is already written. It is already written in the skies. And you know, time isn't linear at all. It's circular and it's written. And if you have déjà vus, like memories of the future, then, well, I guess the future might come, right? And you can literally wish upon a star for healing your wounds, and wish upon a star and work with the stars. And right now, oh yes, I shall show you also the crazy star alignment we have right now, which is doing all that work. Yeah, I will do that in a minute.